Title suggestion: the brutal truth about success that the I Ching figured out 3,000 years ago in the year 1050 BC. A man sat in a dirt-floored prison cell, awaiting an execution that seemed inevitable. His name was King Wen. Outside his bars, an empire was rotting. The tyrant King Zhou of Shang was known for his cruelty, for his forest of meat and pool of wine, and for the inventive ways he tortured those who dared to speak of virtue. One had every reason to panic. He had every reason to plot a desperate escape or beg for mercy. Instead, he did something that would change the course of human history. He picked up 64 symbols. He looked at the chaos of his life, the falling rain, the shifting political tides, and the heartbeat of the universe, and he realized a truth that every modern CEO and world leader is currently ignoring. The most aggressive, powerful move you can make in a crisis is to do absolutely nothing until the world aligns with your intent. Most people think the I Ching is a book of fortune-telling for the superstitious. They are wrong. It is the oldest manual of psychological warfare and strategic alignment ever written. It is a mathematical map of how power moves. And today, I am going to show you why the hidden dragon strategy from 3 millennia ago is the only thing that can save you from the decisions your competitors are hoping you make today. To understand the I Ching, you must understand the stakes of the Zhou transition. This wasn't just a change of kings, it was the birth of the mandate of heaven. Before King Wen, power was seen as a birthright of the gods. After Wen, power became a reflection of your alignment with the Tao, the natural flow of change. Imagine the pressure. You are in a cell. Your eldest son has been murdered by the state. Your people are suffering. The weight of history is pressing down on your chest. In that silence, Wen didn't seek a way out. He sought a way through. He refined the hexagrams, the 6-line symbols that represent every possible state of existence. He realized that life isn't a straight line toward a goal. It is a series of 64 distinct seasons. We live in a world that demands constant growth, constant action, constant hustle. But look at the landscape of the 21st century. We see massive corporations like Intel or Boeing, once the masters of their domain, now struggling because they moved when they should have waited or waited when they should have moved. They lost their mandate. They fell out of alignment with the cycle. The I Ching teaches us that there is a time for the great man to emerge and a time for the great man to hide. If you try to lead like a lion during a season of the fox, you will be destroyed. If you try to build a skyscraper while the earth is still shifting, it will collapse. The wisdom I am sharing today is for those who feel the ground moving beneath them and realize that their old maps no longer work. Let us look at the first core teaching. It comes from Hexagram 1, Satan, the creative. It is the symbol of pure yang energy, of the driving force of the universe. But the very first line of this most powerful symbol contains a warning that stops most ambitious people in their tracks. The source text says, "Hidden dragon, do not act." In plain language, this means that even if you possess the power of a god, even if your idea is brilliant, even if your talent is unmatched, if you are in the hidden phase, any action you take will be premature and self-destructive. It is the state of potential energy, not kinetic energy. Consider the history of Apple. In 1985, Steve Jobs was ousted from the company he built. For over a decade, he was a hidden dragon. He founded Next, he acquired Pixar, he worked in the shadows of the industry. He didn't try to fight John Scully for control of a dying Apple. He waited. He refined his vision of what a computer should be. He allowed the cycle to turn. When he finally returned in 1997, it wasn't as a beggar, but as the only person who could save the company. He waited until the dragon was seen in the fields. The actionable principle is this: potential power is preserved through silence. Realized power is projected through timing. The second teaching comes from Hexagram 29, Can, the abysmal. This symbol is water over water. It represents the heart of danger. The I Ching does not tell you to avoid danger. It tells you how to become the danger. The text reads, "The abysmal repeated." If you are sincere, you have success in your heart, and whatever you do succeeds. This is counterintuitive. How can you succeed in an abyss? The secret is in the nature of water. Water does not fight the rock. It doesn't scream at the cliff for being in its way. It simply fills every hole, levels every dip, and continues its downward flow until the obstacle is bypassed. Think of Netflix in 2011. They were the kings of DVD by mail. Then, they decided to split their business and move into streaming, a move that was loathed by the market. Their stock plummeted. They were in the abyss. But Reed Hastings didn't panic and revert to the old model. He followed the sincerity of the new direction. He allowed the water of his strategy to fill the gap of the market's temporary anger. By 2013, with House of Cards, they had flowed past the obstacle of traditional cable. They didn't break the rock, they made the rock irrelevant. The actionable principle. In times of crisis, do not focus on the obstacle. Focus on the integrity of your own flow. We now encounter Hexagram 12, pi, standstill or stagnation. This is the opposite of the first hexagram. Heaven and earth are moving away from each other. Communication has broken down. The text says, "The great departs, the small approaches." The superior man falls back upon his inner worth in order to escape the difficulties. He does not permit himself to be honored with revenue. This is a teaching about the dignity of retreat. We are taught that quitting is a sin. The I Ching says that staying in a toxic, stagnant environment just to collect a paycheck or maintain your status is a betrayal of your destiny. When the standstill is in effect, the superior person becomes invisible. They withdraw their energy from the world because the world is currently incapable of receiving it. Look at the Great Resignation or the quiet quitting movements. These are modern, albeit messy, manifestations of Hexagram 12. People realized that the revenue was no longer worth the inner worth they were sacrificing. When a market is saturated, when a relationship is dead, when a political system is frozen, do not try to fix it from within the stagnation. Withdraw, conserve, rebuild your internal world so that when the standstill breaks, and it always breaks, you are the only one with the resources left to lead. The actionable principle. True wealth is the ability to walk away from a winning hand when the game itself has become corrupt. The fourth teaching is perhaps the most vital for those who have already achieved some success. It is Hexagram 63, Chi, after completion. The text warns, success in small matters. Perseverance furthers. At the beginning good fortune, at the end disorder. This is the entropy hexagram. It describes the moment after you have won the championship, after you have hit your IPO, after you have married the person of your dreams. The I Ching tells us that the moment of perfect order is the most dangerous moment of your life. Why? Because the only direction left to move is toward disorder. Look at the story of BlackBerry. In 2007, they owned the smartphone market. They had reached completion. They became complacent. They ignored the small matters like touchscreens and app ecosystems. They thought the order would last forever. But the I Ching says, in the end, disorder. Because they didn't anticipate the turn of the cycle, they were crushed by it. The superior person, when they reach the top, immediately begins preparing for the descent. They don't celebrate, they audit. They look for the tiny cracks in the foundation before the earthquake arrives. The actionable principle. The seed of your destruction is always planted in the soil of your greatest victory. Now, I have given you the theory. But the Ancient Strategist is not a channel for theorists. It is a channel for practitioners. You are facing a decision this week. Perhaps it is a career move. Perhaps it is a confrontation you've been avoiding. Perhaps it is a project that feels stuck. Here are 3 things you will do this week to apply the Oracle's wisdom to your modern life. First, execute the 24-hour silence. The next time someone presents you with an urgent opportunity or a provocative challenge, you will not respond. You will say, "I will give you my answer in 24 hours. During those hours, you are the hidden dragon. You are removing your ego from the equation. Most bad decisions are made in the first 5 seconds of emotional reaction. By enforcing silence, you are allowing the yang of the situation to settle so you can see the yin underneath. Do this especially when you feel the most pressure to speak. Second, map your current hexagram. Look at the 3 main areas of your life: your work, your health, and your relationships. Ask yourself, is this a season of the creative where I should push? Or is it a season of standstill where I should withdraw? Be brutally honest. If you are trying to push in a relationship that is in standstill, you are wasting your life force. Stop. Withdraw your energy for 7 days. See what happens when you stop propping up a dead cycle. You will be amazed at how much clarity comes when you stop fighting the Tao. Third, the small work principle. If you feel overwhelmed by a great water, you have to cross a massive project or a life change. Ignore the destination. Hexagram 63 says success in small matters. This week, identify the smallest, most mundane task related to your goal. Cleaning your desk, formatting a spreadsheet, making one uncomfortable phone call. The I Ching teaches that the great man achieves greatness by never attempting great things. They simply attend to the small things with such perfection that greatness becomes an inevitable byproduct. Did you know that the binary code that runs every computer on this planet, the ones and zeros that make up the AI I am using to speak to you, was directly inspired by the I Ching? Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, the inventor of binary, saw the hexagrams and realized that the entire universe could be mapped as a series of on and off states. The ancient world was digital long before we were. They understood that life is a code. If you know the code, you can predict the output. King Wen survived that prison cell. He went on to lay the foundation for a dynasty that would last 800 years, the longest in Chinese history. He didn't do it by being the strongest or the loudest. He did it by being the most aligned. He understood that the world is a great breath. It inhales and it exhales. If you try to inhale when the world is exhaling, you will suffocate. You came to this video because you felt a standstill in your own life. You felt the abysmal danger of the modern world. You felt like a hidden dragon tired of hiding. Remember this, the dragon only stays hidden to grow its wings. The abyss is only deep to those who cannot swim, and the standstill is only permanent to those who refuse to move within. The I Ching figured out 3,000 years ago that success is not a destination, it is a synchronization. If you are out of sync, no amount of hard work will save you. If you are in sync, no amount of opposition can stop you. If you found value in this transmission, the link to our Ancient Strategist playbook is below. It contains the deep dive maps for all 64 hexagrams applied to modern business. In the next episode, we will look